In this video, we're going to talk about making a block that has various layer conditions so that we can have one block that prints with different line weights and different line types. I'm going to open up my garage drawing. I can see here I've got my walls, a door, and a window. They're all in their own layers. A glaze is defining the layer conditions for the window. A door is defining the layer conditions for the door. And what I need to do now is draw a garage door. Now, the garage door is going to appear with two different line weights and two different line types. One of the line weights and types is going to define the door in the closed position. The other line type and line weight is going to define the door in the open position, or when it's rolled up above our heads. In order to do this, I'm going to need a new layer. This layer is called A-over. It is green, color 3, and its line type needs to be hidden 2. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the line type dialog box, load the new line called hidden 2, and select that line type as the line type for this layer. Now I can see on my Layer Properties Manager, my layer is set and ready to go. There are two shapes I need to draw. The first shape is on layer 0. It's a rectangle, and it indicates the shape of the garage door in the closed position. It runs from the corner on one side over to the corner on the other. It is 2 inches thick, just like all of our doors. And then the other shape belongs on this layer called A-over. I'm going to go ahead and make that layer current. This is 3 lines. Helm, enter. Start the line here at this intersection, here. And it runs 7 feet straight up. Runs the full width, and then 7 feet straight down. Notice how I'm using ortho to give direction and keying in the distances. Okay, so I have these 3 lines and that rectangle. I have 4 objects. I'm going to go ahead and select them. This is a block I may want to use again, so I'm going to use the W block command to make a block out of it. I need to select a location. I'm going to go ahead put this in a drive for this class. This is called a 16 by 7 foot garage door. And I'm going to pick my insertion point. Probably right in the middle of this door works, or on the corner. In this case, I think the corner makes more sense. I've got my 4 objects selected. I've got my insertion point and my name. I'm going to go ahead and delete this from the drawing as we go. And off it goes. It is now a new file that exists all on its own. It was already in the right place. I could have left it. But just for illustrative purposes, I want to show what happens when we make a block. So I'm going to make my current layer a door, because this is a door. And I'm going to insert. I enter. I need to browse back to find this object. When you're done browsing, you found the object. Go ahead and click OK. I will insert it at a specific point on the screen. I do not need to rotate it this time. I certainly don't want to explode it, don't need to scale it. Click OK. Here's my garage door. Now insert it in the right place. Now what I've got here is a single object with 2 different sets of information in it. One is a rectangle, one is this set of 3 lines. I can control these visibility of these objects here in my Layer Properties Manager. by turning those layers on and off. And I can see that the overhead line is green, and I can see that the door is yellow. Now you won't notice the hidden 2 line type unless you zoom in very closely. We're going to talk about that here in just a moment in another video. But when we zoom in very closely, we can see those dashes. And the nice thing about this is if I were to need to use this in a plan that was used by some other profession, where the doors were not needing to be as relevant, they could lighten the line type of that door layer, and by doing so would then the doors themselves would print out lighter. You can see that affected both of my doors, if those were less important for the specific trade that was using those drawings, say an electrician or a plumber. But for the architects, we're going to leave those yellow. Normally blocks are all drawn on layer 0, of course, but this is an example of a block that we needed a line type to be unique, and so we used a second layer in there.